Hey, welcome to the channel. In this channel, we're going to talk about lawns, landscaping around my house here, barbecue, baseball, and beer. The three B's: barbecue, baseball, and beer. So what I'll do is walk around and show you what I got in my lawn right now. This has been kind of a journey over a few years. Kind of what happened is I got busy at work and I kind of ignored the yard for years, maybe a 10-year period. And I'll throw some pictures up at some point during this journey. But I got a lot of crabgrass at one point. I got a lot of Poa trivialis. I got a lot of really bad grass mixed in. Over the last 5 years, I have a large property and I have a low yield well. So I'm not going to go down to bare dirt. Not going to do that. Didn't do that. Not going to revitalize this like you should. I went the what appears to be the cheap way or the poor man's way, which is not really the cheap or poor man way. It costs more money. But I revitalized it year after year after year by reseeding. So I spent more money that way, but it was a little at a time. Got the equipment, got the time, so I did it. With that, we'll take some video here and show you what's going on in this yard. What I'm going to talk about this season is how I let some of my beds get out of control, and we'll take a look at some of those. So I've got to redefine these beds, fix these beds back up, cut out a bunch of weeds. I got my front in a little bit better shape, and just follow the journey, follow me along. And we're not doing just lawns on here. I'll go to our local baseball parks. I'm in a real good area for minor league baseball. Outside of Philadelphia, don't like driving into the city, don't like the expensive parking and what it costs to see the Phillies. Don't like it, not going to do it. So I do AAA, AA, and high A. We'll spend more time at the Wilmington Blue Rocks. $18, beautiful games. Take my dogs in on Tuesdays. This Tuesday we're going for Bark in the Park, and you'll see me and my family there. And barbecue a few times a year. I'm going to throw some brisket on there, and we'll do some brisket and everything. So basically I got about 20,000 square feet here. So to get back what I'm going to try to do in this year, I'm going to flip this camera around, get it off of me, kind of show you the yard. So with that, let's flip this camera around. All right. So here's my yard. I'm standing probably in the middle of the backyard, and that's my property line. All right, so coming up over here, I got to get this back under control. Shouldn't start in the back of the yard because it's going to take me longer to get back here, but I got these weeds. So basically I've got this weed bed here, so I got to get that cleaned out. Had it cleaned out a couple years ago. Didn't get around to it last year, so I'm definitely gonna clear it out. Listen to my birds. We have a lot of birds around here. I got bluebirds, redbirds. I sprayed this line down through here, so if you can come in here. I stopped spraying here, so yeah, I use glyphosate. I sprayed all of this from here up. I let this get out of hand last year, had it cleaned out, looking really good. My pyracanthus I gotta trim up, get back in shape. And I've sprayed all this property line down. So I'll keep spraying this year to keep it under control. And at some point, I will, so I've sprayed all the weeds all the way down. As you can see, my yard's pretty big. What I got going right here, what I've got going right here and right here are my strips where I'm gonna plant my seeds. I'm a little late this year. We're approaching mid-May. Pennsylvania, I should have had these out early May, last week of April. But I'm gonna plant my seeds, get my cut flower going. That's what I'm gonna do here. Last year I did that, and these two. These right here are left over. I didn't reseed. I just let those come in. All of those are wildflowers from my wildflower mix last year. Some wildflowers are hardier than others. And as you can see, I've got some blooming. I got some weeds I'm going to pull out. But I got some blooming coming on. Look at this. as you can see, I got some things blooming. Look at this. My dandelions are in there. I couldn't spray them because I didn't want to kill the seedlings coming up, but I do have some small little flowers starting to seed, and these did the best and took over, and I'm just gonna leave them. It's free. Don't have to it's free seeds. I don't have to pay to replant these. So I'm just gonna let them come in. And these two every year I'll plant something different in there. I got bulbs in this front one and bulbs in this one. I didn't start filming this in time, so that's what I've got. And I got to get these tilled and some seed put in them. For my backyard, these are my flower beds that, let's see if I can get some distance on them. So what I've got here going on is I've got two half circles or quarter circles right here, and then an inner one, and it goes all the way around in a large circle. And 2 years ago I had roses put in there, and I went with the hybrid tea roses. I didn't maintain them like I was supposed to. Some of them died out, some of them stayed in. Had some climbing roses in that middle gazebo, but I got to get all the tree saplings cut out of there. I got to get that back in order. And I've decided, and I have grasses. So what I did on these is I put these ornamental grasses in. I'm going to remove these. I have these in the middle on all the out ones all the way around. I'm going to start removing these up at the other end, and I'm going to put my shrub roses in here. I got to get this cleaned out. See, this is the kind of stuff we're going to cover this year. We get this cleaned out. I got to get that tree cut out. There's a rose bush under there. But basically I have, here's a good specimen. I got to get this cleaned up. See, we're in the middle of the circle, as you see. It goes all the way around. And then I got to get this clean. I got to get that cleaned up and get my climbing roses back on there. But here's what they all look like. Last year, I had roses all the way around like these in these bushes. Some of them died out because they weren't very hardy, like that one there. So I'm going to stay away from these hybrids. Get that guy under control, and I'm going to go with shrub roses, landscape roses like these. These do really well. Look amazing. Take very little effort. So I'm gonna put those in all the way around. I'm gonna take these grasses out, these ornamental grasses, and I'm not throwing them away. I'm gonna repurpose them. I'm gonna cut them into quarters. And this last year, this weed field was cut flower garden as well. As you can see, there's some of the stuff that came back from last year, but weeds infiltrated. So I'm gonna spray all of this, get it killed down to dirt. I'm gonna put a couple grass paths in there, one that comes around the back and out here, and then one that dips back in here so I can cut it with the mower. And I'm gonna start smaller sections. I can't mulch it all. I don't have enough money to mulch it all. I have to do it a little at a time. See, there's some of the cut gardens. Here's some of the cut flowers that came back from last year that I didn't mow over this year. So I'm going to leave little things in here because there's less weed grass in there, except for here. A lot of weed grass. And there's another ornamental grass. So I'm going to place my ornamental grasses in here strategically, and some butterfly bushes. I got that bush for free. It just popped up last year. I cut it down. It's a little taller than I want, so I'll probably whack it about in half to keep it small and bushy. Got it for free. And I got another one back at the back of my lot that is also free. It just, the birds planted it for me. And I got lucky because I took 2 experiments. I took this guy here that looks like he's alive. He's a cutting from this one. When I trimmed this one up, I took cuttings and I shoved about 4 of those stems into the ground, and that one took. no rooting compound. Did it in early April. It was probably a little cold. Didn't do it any way you're supposed to. Just plunked it in the ground. That one died. The other 3 died. That one, it worked. So I like quick and easy. I got to get rid of these weeds. I have a bush under there. And then I got to get this under control. So this is all the stuff I'm going to be going over this year. And you guys are going to watch me get this under control. All those weeds, I'm going to spray. All of those vines, we have a ton of vines. I will cut out and get my shrub roses out of there. These are the shrub roses here. These are, I'll have to look them up, but I love these. That they're fragrant. They're oh so easy Italian ice or something like that. They have smell. They're the only shrub roses that I know of, landscape roses that smell. I have to cut them back, get them back under control, but they have a fragrance, and I have a lot of those around here. I had a couple other ones. I got to cut these trees out. I had a couple other ones that look pretty but no fragrance from competing brands. So I stick with the Oh So Easy, the Osos, and I stick with that Italian ice because it smells good and it's fragrant, and you can smell them all the way around. So I will put them in here. I'll get that one. There's an Oh So Easy. I will cut these grasses out, and then I will put more shrub roses in here. I'll probably cut that butterfly bush out, dig it out, not cut it out, and put it over here. And then I'll fill this with these Oh So Easies, and I'm going to do that all the way around the outer. And some of these inner ones where I've got nice hybrids going, I'll probably keep that in there. Find a real hardy one to put in there. I like the David Austin ones. They do really well, and I got to get my climbing rose fixed. So this is my yard. It's really big, 20,000 square feet. So I got to get all of this. And if you see, my grass isn't that bad. I'll put up pictures. I mean, it's not perfect, I mean, by any means, but it looks good enough for me. Nice and green. I'll tell you my fertilization schedule. I fertilize the piss out of it. I'll just go ahead and say it. I fertilize this a lot, probably 7 to 8 times a year. I know you're only supposed to put 4 pounds of nitrogen down a year. I put like 6. And I'll also put iron. I like using, my grass is usually darker than this because of the iron that I put in. I haven't put any iron in. I like using Lesco brand. I'll go over all the different brands I use. This year I got money from my my work gift certificates from Lowe's. They didn't have Lesco, so I went with Scott's, and so it doesn't have iron in it. So that's what I did. So looks really good to me. I like it. This is my back. This is coming up back to my house. So I've got to get these beds, like all those trees, cut out. There's Vixen. That's my husky. She goes to the ballpark with me because she's young. She's like 4 years old. Vix, girl, come here. Vixen. There she is. Vixen, sit. 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 Oops. Sit. Good girl. That's a good girl. She poses for me. So you'll see her on camera with me. And my Rottweiler is a little sick. He's got cancer, so he lays around. Come on, girl. And she runs and plays and chases, gives rabbits, just gives rabbits in this yard hell. But I'll be fixing this bed up. So I got to get in here and clean that up. What I love about this bed is we're up north. And I got flowers in here that I'm going to dig out and move because of these right here. My cannas. You're supposed to have to dig these up every year. And I got to get rid of all of those weeds. But these cannas came back on their own. I had just 3 cannas in here 2 years ago. And they came back as this many cannas. I don't know how they grew so big and how they spread so much. But those are cannas. Boy, the hummingbirds love them. Look at them. Some of these I'm going to dig up and take to my son's house. Maybe we'll do a video on that. So, cat's mint. That one's getting unruly. I'll probably cut it up and section it and put it in other places. But look at those cannas right there. All of these came in for free. And I just moved them around. So these roses will be moved because the cannas grow in here. I'll either dig these cannas out or I'll move the roses. I'm not sure which. This is my favorite rose. I want to buy 3 more. Desdemona, David Austin, prettiest blooms you could ever see. I mean, just look at that. Just look at that. Gorgeous. Just look at there. Those are my favorite. My second favorite is this one here, which is not blooming yet. It's Mollendex or whatever, and I got weeds. And I got to get all these weeds under control. So this is what I got to do. I let it get out of hand last year. Got busy. We'll talk about some life lessons and things either on this channel or another one. But there's my big Roddy boy. Love him. He developed cancer. I thought he broke his leg. Took him in, and they said no. It looked like bone cancer, and they expected him to die before now. He's made it a year past when he was supposed to, so he doesn't get around like he normally does. But if you look at his one paw, it's bad. And I've taken him in. The vet's done all they can, except could amputate it. My vet says no, please do not do that, so I didn't. So based on that, here's my barbecue pits. We'll get into those when I start the barbecue. But that there is my master built charcoal fed. I'll pull them off at some other point. And then my Oklahoma Joe. That's where I do my briskets on. And my old pellet grill. Don't like the pellet grills. I mean, some people, they're fine. And I used them, and I got some decent brisket off of it. It's a Pit Boss. I'm going to give it away. I put it out of the front curb, and local people will come by and just take it. I'm nice like that. It works. I just don't. You can't get a good smoky flavor off of it. You can do decent brisket and everything, but it doesn't taste like when you go to Texas or when you go to these brisket houses. It's not going to. This does okay. It almost gets you there because you've got charcoal in there, and I use lump charcoal, but I also throw chunks of wood, so you can get a little bit of smoke and flavor on there. It does okay. There's some modifications I can do on the back to keep the smoking a little longer, but I'm like, nope. I'm just going to go to the tried and true way, stick burner, offset smoker. And that's what I'll be doing that on. And then I got to get all, so we'll be doing videos and get all of this cleaned up. I just let this stuff get, all this junk, all out of hand. I mean, it's crazy. It's nasty. I got to get those drained and out. That was my fish pond before I started. Then we put this fish pond in here. I know this is going to be a little long-winded video, but other ones I'll try to keep short. This is my fish pond that I had put in, my little small fish pond. Let's see if I can get you in there and see the fish. There you go. It still needs to be cleaned up. There's algae in there. And there's my little fish. And then my plants. And then I replanted these creeping Jenny. Just little plugs 2 years ago, and look how much it's taken over. I still got to get the weeds out. And then here's some more roses that I'm going to have to relocate. They don't like it here. So that's the backyard. And so here's my pool. I'll get it open. I didn't open it last year. I got lazy and didn't want to do it. Me and the dogs are the only one use it. My daughter said she wanted to use it this year, so I'll open it. In the future, fish pond conversion. That's what I see there. Fish pond conversion. So that's with that. So let's go around front. I'll show you the front, and then we'll go over some different things. And like I said, this is going to be basically videos about what I'm doing around here and how I do it. It's not necessarily going to be a how-to, it's just going to be a journey. Follow me. There's a lot of channels like the Lawn Care Nut and Ryan Knorr and all these guys. They're better at telling you how to do the lawn. I'll just tell you what I do, and I learned it all from them. Well, I had a basis before them because my brother was in landscaping, but I learned even more and went to the next level with from the Lawn Care Nut, and then you know, my friend down in North Carolina and everything. So they're all those big popular YouTube channels. They know more about grass than I do. They do it professionally. But I took from them and tailored my own plan. And so with that, I'm in the front. This is my front yard. So let's see, what's the best way to get? So it looks pretty good. It looked really bad the last few years, But I've really got it to fill in. I've really got the low quality grass, the wild grass out. And then I just had, we'll go over a whole thing. I just had the front, I'll put in a picture. I had the front resided. I had to, 20 years old. The siding was, that's a whole other story. But so basically, let me walk out to the street here and show you from across the street kind of what it looks like. So basically, driving up to my house, there's the beast. But basically, that's what we got. We got that, and you come up the driveway. I got my little bed there. You know, hope I don't get run over. So there's my front. That's the first thing I put in, that big bed. It's been a battle. I went back and forth with straight mulch. At one point I had landscape fabric under it, then I didn't like it, and I tore the landscape fabric out. My yard used to be bigger, but then I put in this for that big RV, which I do have to sell because I don't use it. There's my tractor, and then my lot ends here. So basically I got to get this property line in order. Those trees and weeds between me and my neighbor, I got to get them cut out and that smoke tree back under control. But basically, that's my lawn. I think it looks good. Golf course quality, no. As great as the lawn care nuts and Connor Ward and Ryan, no. But I don't put in near the effort that they do. I do the bare minimum, and I get this result. When I say bare minimum compared to perfection standards, I spend quite a bit of time. This time of year on, I just fertilize it and cut it 2 to 3 times, every 2 to 3 days, depending on how long it is. I just cut it yesterday. I got to get this bed mulched in and under control. But I fertilize it every 5 to 6 weeks, starting in March. Put down my pre-emergent. We'll just go through my whole schedule on another video. But that's where I am, and hope you guys enjoy. And I'll try to bring you really good content, and I'm new at this, so I hope I get some followers, and just God's blessed me, and hopefully God has blessed each and every one of you. And with that, some of the other topics that I'll end up talking about, let me switch back. Some of the other topics I'll end up talking about is about being laid off. So that we just got noticed. Large pharma, I worked with the large pharmaceutical companies. That's what I did for years. 30 years experience, and now they're just cutting everybody loose, and we'll do a whole episode on that. Sending all of our jobs overseas. What are you gonna do? So what am I gonna do? I don't know. I've got 6 months to a year, depending. They haven't let me know yet. I just know my job's done, and I'll have severance, but on my last day, I don't know yet. But with that, I came back through the backyard out here in the back. It's nice. So there you go. And we'll leave it to the next one.